Sometimes I enjoy riding e-bikes just for fun and not for commuting. Over the past year, I've discovered that this usually comes in the form of a moped-style e-bike. I've tried out a couple of these e-bikes in the past, and for the last couple of weeks, I've been riding one that is priced under $1,000, and the color and style takes me back to the days of riding dirt bikes in the hills of South Prairie. Hello everybody, this is Matthew Miller, otherwise known as Palm Solo, and thanks for visiting the Mobile with Matt YouTube channel. I appreciate your views and your support. The folks at REVR sent me the V5 off-road moped-style e-bike in blue, as you can see here. It's an affordable e-bike that is even set up to handle 2 riders at once if you want to. But first, let's start off by unboxing the bike and then diving into some of my experiences. The REVR V5 arrived, and because it's quite a heavy bike at 85 plus pounds, I decided to pull the front of the box down and assemble it in this method. First, taking all the packing materials off, and then kind of looking at the manual to see what was needed to be done. First step on this bike was to put the handlebars on. Now on a bike like this, when you put the handlebars on before the front wheel and tire, you don't get the final adjustment. So I put it on there so it was close to where I think it would be, and then I was going to be able to adjust it later on. Next step is simply to put on that front fender, and it's really handy to put that on before the front wheel and tire. Then I flipped it over just to make the front wheel and tire a little bit easier to set up, making sure it was in the right place and properly installed without having to have too much movement. The next step was actually the headlight, but I couldn't find specific instructions on how to assemble the headlight, so I assembled the headlight later on after I did everything else, including putting the pedals on and then finding the 2 rear kickstands for the back rider. Those were the last thing I assembled, and the headlight was done later. The REVR V5 is one of the more affordable moped-style bikes priced at $999, with most of the competition priced in the $1,500 to $4,000 range. It's a well-built bike with solid specifications, and it rides well for those looking for mostly a throttle-only experience. The REVR V5 offers the following: a 60/61 aluminum frame, only available in the blue color, and it's designed for people from 5'2" to 6'2". I'm 6'1", and it does fit me comfortably. Has a 750 watt, 48 volt rear hub motor. Has a right side twist throttle with 20 mile per hour maximum throttle speed, and also 20 mile per hour with pedal assist, so it's a class 2 bike. It's shown on the website as a 28 mile per hour class 3 bike, but there is no power provided beyond 20 miles per hour, and no matter which settings I mess with and change in the advanced settings, the bike is still locked in that class 2 status. Has a large capacity 48 volt 20 amp hour battery. The bike has an advertised range of 60 to 80 miles with pedal assist, but you likely won't be riding it often in that mode. With throttle only, I was getting about 20 to 30 miles, depending on your weight, the speed you ride at, and the terrain. The bike weighs in at 85 pounds, so it's not a very light bike. A lot of that is the large capacity battery as well, and that 750 watt motor. The payload capacity is a little bit low. It's only 265 pounds. I weigh between 235 and 240, so there's not much capacity left for me to carry much along with me. Suspension-wise, it has front shocks, as you can see here, and also rear shock with that pinned hinge back there on the wheel, so you get a nice smooth ride. A little bit stiff at first, but ride it a little bit more and it's very comfortable. Has a Shimano 7-speed transmission, 180 millimeter hydraulic disc brakes on the front and back, and it stops very, very quickly. Has ergonomic, comfortable rubber hand grips with that right twist throttle. Has 20-inch by 4-inch Kenda fat tires and a large LCD display that's oriented in landscape orientation. That's the same one I've seen on some more advanced King Bull bikes recently that allows you to access some very advanced settings. I don't know if those are really changing on this bike. They seem to be a little bit locked down, but it is a very nice, clear display with big numbers. It does also have IP65 dust and water resistance. However, there are no UL certifications listed on the website for this bike, so just be aware of that. Looking over here at the controller, it's a very simple controller, similar to what we saw on King Bull, same as the display. It just has 2 major buttons. It has a power button, and then the plus minus button is a single button with a plus and minus up at the top and bottom. So it's very, very simple to operate. You press and hold the power button to turn it on and press and hold to turn it off. The plus and minus will increase or decrease your pedal assist, and then press and hold the plus button to turn on the headlight, press and hold the plus and minus buttons to access the advanced settings. Now let's get into some of my typical riding experiences, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the bike. Regular viewers know that I ride up a 13 to 15% incline into my neighborhood. I was hoping that the REVR V5 would make it up my hill with just the throttle, and it did get about 2/3 up that hill before it slowed down below the 5 miles per hour, and then I simply switched it into a lower gear and I was able to pedal up the rest of the way 9 to 10 miles per hour. So it actually will get up most hills, not the steepest hill at my weight. I imagine if you're lighter in the 200 or less range, you probably will be able to get up those very steep hills with just the throttle only, and if not, just drop the gear and start pedaling. Now these moped-style e-bikes are really optimized for throttle mode, and I spent probably 95 or 98% of my time riding in this mode. Thankfully, the pedal assist level that you select also translates to the maximum throttle speed, and I really like that feature on these throttle-only bikes because then you can use that pedal assist level to kind of control the maximum speed and then just twist the throttle and cruise along at that maximum speed, right? So with my 235-pound weight and fairly flat paved roads, I saw the following top speeds at each of these pedal assist levels. Pedal assist level 0 is going to give you no throttle at all, right? Pedal assist 1, I was getting about 5 miles per hour. In level 2, about 8.5 miles per hour. Level 3, I saw a top speed of 13 miles per hour. Level 4, 17.5 miles per hour, and 5 bounced between 19.5, 19.6 miles per hour. Didn't quite get to 20, but again, I'm a little bit heavier as well. REVR advertises that 60 to 80 mile range, and that's really a range in pedal assist levels, usually at the lowest pedal assist level, which really isn't a very practical type of range to give for a bike like this. I would really like to see these moped-style e-bike manufacturers listing the throttle range, because you're going to ride this bike in the throttle most of the time. I mean, why buy a bike like this that's such low height between the pedal and the seat and not use it in throttle only mode? So in my testing, I was able to achieve in the mid-20s in throttle only mode. And I imagine for most people, you can probably expect about half of that advertised range when you're in throttle only mode. That also depends if you're on hills, if you've got it at the top speed, if you're cruising along at the lower pedal assist level. So just kind of expect probably more along the lines of half or maybe a little bit less than the advertised range in that throttle only mode. You're certainly welcome to ride this in pedal assist mode as much as you want. However, this bike isn't really set up for much of that. Speaking of pedal assist mode, I really didn't spend much time in that mode. I can't give you some estimates on range because that lower height and the non-adjustable seat just really didn't work very well for me. I used it for very steep hills. I would kind of stand up on that for those super steep hills. I also was a bit disappointed that that electric motor did not provide any additional assistance beyond the 20 miles per hour. I've tested other moped-style e-bikes and they've been performing at a class 3 level. Maybe they had to be unlocked or not, but when I would actually apply my pedal force to it, I would be able to get up to 28 miles per hour. And that's where the additional benefit of having a bike like this with that ability to get up to 28 miles per hour in pedal assist. But this bike is limited to 20 miles per hour in both throttle and pedal assist mode. If the battery dies, you could ride the REVR V5 home, but it takes some effort to propel this heavy 85-pound bike up the hill. Thankfully, again, we have that 7-speed Shimano transmission. So if you do run out of battery life, you're able to get home. Looking at some of the pros and cons of the bike, it is priced quite low for a moped-style e-bike, and it provides a very basic throttle experience for up to 20 miles per hour. The seat is very comfortable, it's long. You can carry a second person behind you, but that 265-pound weight limit kind of prevents me from carrying too many heavy people. Although, as you can see in the B-roll here, I did put my daughter on back behind me and we rode around a little bit just to kind of try that out. The brakes work very, very well, and I was able to stop on a dime, even at full speed. Some of the areas for improvement on this bike, that 20 mile per hour is the limit. I would love to see the ability to unlock that. So at least in pedal assist, we could get up to 28 miles per hour, which I could ride with traffic. That LED headlight was a bit complicated to assemble. If you look at my unboxing, I did because she didn't even get to the headlight because I was so confused at the time. There were no instructions for the headlight in the box. I messed around with it a little bit, figured out that it's attached to the front forks, and I finally was able to put all the pieces together and figure out how to put that headlight together. I would like to see the instructions updated to provide a little more specific directions on putting that headlight together. Lastly, it's kind of a long period of 10 hours to charge up the battery. I know it's a large capacity battery, but 10 hours is quite a long time. Now, if you're gonna go out throttle riding for quite some time, you can buy extra batteries. They're a bit expensive, but you can buy an extra battery and always swap it out if you want to. The REVR V5 is available now in one color, this blue color, for $999. With the V5 branding, as you can see right here, the blue color and styling, this e-bike reminds me of a motorcycle I grew up riding, and it clearly has that focus with a primary use in throttle-only mode. It's a fun e-bike for the right customer who's looking for something to take out on dirt roads and fields, but it's not something you'll probably be commuting with unless you live in an area where you don't have to go and carry the bike up and down any stairs or into an apartment or anything else like that. I don't really recommend this style of bike if you plan to spend time pedaling because it's just too short and heavy for that mode of travel. You also do not get any additional speed out of the bike in pedal assist mode, so stick with the throttle and enjoy it. The REVR V5 is built very, very well. It has a large capacity battery and it's simply a fun bike to ride. Don't expect high speeds or the ability to carry too much weight, but just get out and let your hair flow free in the field. Thanks for watching my review, and thanks to REVR for sending this bike along to try out. Please consider subscribing and sharing my channel with family and friends, and may the mobile force be with you.